Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul Qistina Binti Nordin. My student ID is 20211119935 and my supervisor for this project is Sir Ahmad Farid bin Najmuddin. Today I'm going to present the Stressbot report. This chapter will be discussed the project problem statement, objective, scope and significance. First is the problem statement. Despite the fact that many mental health illnesses may be adequately treated at a reasonable cost, the gap between those who need treatment and those who have access to it remains significant. The percentage of people who receive effective therapy is still relatively low. The idea of the stated project is that mental health issues can range from minor concerns that users face on a daily basis to major long-term disorders. The worst consequence of not treating the mental health problems effectively and correctly could be suicide. Next, the project reality is that most people who suffer from mental health issues may overcome them or learn to live with them, particularly if they seek assistance at an early stage. When a person with a mental health disease does not seek treatment, various physical problems might arise. This can be caused by stress, anxiety, nervousness, or depression. Consequences of this project that the user might understand the symptoms of common illnesses without further consultation from the doctor. Some people try to avoid admitting that they have mental health problems. Words like crazy, cuckoo, and insane that others spit out to someone who has mental illness are all unpleasant and contribute to all mental disease stereotypes. They foster the myth that mental disease is unpredictable, uncontrollable, and consistently severe, but in reality, mental illness and mental health problems span a wide range of severity. Next, we move on to the objective of the project. The first one is to develop a dataset of response for the chatbot application. Second one is to develop a chatbot application for mental health related issues. And the third one is to evaluate the effectiveness of the application towards the user. Next is the scope of the project. The first one is that the dataset to be collected for this project is a dataset involving questions related to mental health issues and answered by an expert. The second scope is that the stress chatbot is suitable for people who are having a hard time talking about their problems with someone else. The third one is the platform to be used to develop this project is a mobile application, and Rasa open source will be used as the builder. The last scope is this chatbot will be keyword recognition based chatbots. Next, we move on to significance of the study. So the first significance of the study of this chatbot is to help users to identify their stress level and help them figure out the solution to decrease their stress. The user needs to know their stress level and find the right solution to their mental health problem. By confronting their problem, users can balance their mental and physical health because it is an essential element in life and influences their ideas, behaviors, and emotion. Being emotionally healthy can increase productivity and effectiveness in the job, education, or it can help introverted users who have difficulty publicly speaking up about their problems to someone else. Generally, the most effective strategy to combat depression in people is to encourage them to express their feelings and emotions to responsible parties. People's paranoia is rising, making it hard to locate someone who can protect the secrecy of their information. As a result, today's people prefer to converse with machines rather than humans. This resulted in the need to develop the concept of stress chatbots. Furthermore, using the chatbot can also lead to good contact with artificial intelligence relationship over real-life relationship to help users improve their mental health without having to consult a doctor. Although conventional face-to-face psychotherapy has been demonstrated, only a minority of depressed and anxious people obtain treatment timely and sufficient to treatment hurdles such as accessibility, convenience, stigmatization, fears, and expenses. The use of information technology in the treatment of psychiatric problems can help to increase the number of individuals who get assistance while also providing a chance for continuous personalized control over the current issues. Next, we move on to Chapter 2. This chapter is about critical analysis of literature or research related to a specific topic or research question. It consists of the overview of the domain, the overview of the research element, the comparison of artificial intelligence techniques that could be used for this project, the comparison of some similar applications that were already built, and lastly, the justification of the technique chosen. Next, we move on to overview of domain. So, mental health is a crucial component of human pleasure, and when humans have a well-balanced mental state, they are able to be very productive both in workplace and in their daily lives. The most prevalent mental ailment is depression. There were around 322 million people of all ages who were depressed, which accounted for 4.4% of the world's population. People who suffer from this mental health disorder are at a significantly increased risk of having suicidal thoughts and impulses due to this illness. Stress contributes to depression in a large number of persons, which is a natural part of life. Anxiety and depression can accompany even mild to moderate stress, such as that caused by a severe illness, quarantine, or being out of work and overwhelmed by concerns about health, financial situations, or employment situation, as well as the lack of support services. Depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia are all have a negative impact on person's ability to relate to others since they affect their thinking, emotions, mood, behavior, and function every day. Next is the overview of research element. So, artificial intelligence is one of the breakthroughs that has been put in effect to solve mental health issues. The broad topic of study known as artificial intelligence within the disciplines of computer science focuses on the development of intelligent machines that are capable of doing tasks that will typically need the intelligence of a human being. Chatbots powered by AI are able to gather information from one or more databases from which they can learn. The training data is given to the bot at the beginning so that it can learn to recognize patterns, deduce more replies, contextualize coherences, and ultimately evolve. At this time, artificial intelligence is being utilized to aid in the quicker diagnosis of disease, the better comprehension of the evolutions of disease, the enhancement of medicines and the treatment dosage, and the discovery of a new cures. Since artificial intelligence is essentially data science, one of its most notable strengths is the ability to analyze patterns and perform rapid screening on large datasets quickly. AI algorithms have performed at par with or even better in some instances compared to experienced clinicians in evaluating image for abnormalities and acuity undetectable to the human eye in the fields of ophthalmology, oncology, and radiology. To develop an artificial intelligence chatbot, there are 4 techniques of artificial intelligence that are possible to be used in developing this chatbot. The techniques are deep learning, name entity recognition, natural language processing, and deep convolutional neural network. First one is deep learning. Deep learning is a technique that employs machine learning algorithm to generate chatbots. A chatbot that uses deep learning can learn anything it needs to know from its data and conversation with humans. So the advantage of deep learning is that it may easily be modified to address new challenges as they arise in the future. Disadvantage of deep learning is due to the complexity of the underlying data models. The training is prohibitively costly. Next is the name entity recognition. Name entity recognition, also known as NER, are words or phrases that have been given a name or its class in relation to a particular subject. They typically hold crucial information within a sentence which most language processing algorithms use as essential targets. This can be found in italics. Different natural language processing applications can effectively use accurate name entity recognition as a valuable source of information. So the advantage of name entity recognition is that it decreases the needs for time-consuming and expensive system in newly developed application. The disadvantage is the training of the NER engines need data that is both relevant and annotated. As for natural language processing, it is known as NLP, is the interface between computers and people that enables two parties to interact with one another. The development of NLP has made it possible for computers to evaluate vast amounts of language data derived from a variety of sources. The developers of NLP techniques can enhance the chatbot's knowledge to perform various tasks more effectively. So the advantage of natural language processing is that it provides precise response to the queries without providing any information that is excessive or unwelcome. The disadvantage of NLP is it may take a week to obtain a satisfactory performance depending on the quantity of available data. Learning deep learn feature from spectrograms and raw voice wave form was accomplished with the help of deep convolutional neural network (DCNN). So the advantage of DCNN is that it offers translation equivariance. The disadvantage of DCNN is that it lacks of a sense of memory state and it is pretty restricted in sequential modeling. Next, we move on to the comparison of application. First is the ADA application. ADA application is a healthcare application which will allow user to diagnose their own health condition. Next is Inner Hour. Inner Hour is an application that were built by psychiatrists, psychologists, and a mental health expert that offer treatment, care, and support for all kinds of mental health concern. Next is WeBot. WeBot is an application that simply communicate with and seamlessly integrates into user life anytime they want to speak. It is based on clinical research and it's powered by AI. Next is MindDoc. User may track, monitor, communicate depression symptoms to a medical professional with the help of MindDoc. The application asks the user to provide answers to questions about their symptoms every day for 2 weeks. Next is the Serenity. Serenity application is a guided meditation and mindfulness allows user to learn a variety of meditations and mindfulness techniques to bring a sense of peace, calm, and happiness to their life. Lastly is the Pocket Coach. Pocket Coach is an application that can assist user in dealing with anxiety and panic attacks. It is intended to educate individuals how to deal with the negative thoughts and feeling that they are facing at some times in their life. Next, we move on to justification. So for this Stressbot, natural language processing will be used as the technique. It is because NLP is the most suitable technique to implement the AI chatbot. It is possible to train chatbots to perform a wide range of activities using NLP techniques. Lastly, we will move on to Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is about the methodology of the project. So in this project, the Mobile Application Development Lifecycle (MADLC) will be used to represent the application development flow. Since the project will be a mobile application, and the MADLC is the most suitable method. This is due to the fact that mobile apps have more complicated function than web application. The MADLC will provide a hand to mobile app developers so that developers may create more sophisticated application. The figure presented is the element that will be discussed in the MADLC, which consists of identification phase, design phase, development phase, prototyping phase, testing phase, and lastly the deployment phase. Next, we move on to the system architecture. The figure shows the system architecture of the Stressbot project. When a chatbot is given a question, it will first read the text and then determine what information can be gleaned from it. This accomplished with the help of an NLU toolbox consisting of the intent classifier and an entity extractor. The chatbot's ability to carry on discussion with the user and assist the user with completing a specified task is made possible by the dialogue management module. The answer to the user query are collected from the dataset and will be stored in the database. An API or application programming interface is a collection of methods that enables program to access data and connect with other software components, operating system or microservices. To put it more simply, an API transfers a response from a user to a system and then moves the answer from the system to the user. The FAQ retrieval system is a vital tool that can query a frequently asked question bot and provide an appropriate answer if the dialogue management module cannot provide the relevant answer to the user's query. Even if the query are phrased in a way that is not consistent with the FAQ, the module may assist the bot in responding. That's all from me. Thank you.